On a cold Saturday morning in Prague, nearly 500 million Czech crowns disappeared. No alarm, no gunshots, well chased. Just routine. And the man linked to it, he disappeared. So here's the question, where did the money go and how do you disappear after a job like this? Before we start, one rule, we stick to what sources confirm. If something is only guess, I will say it's a guess. You also won't see real faces in this video, we use shadow characters to show roles and moments, not real people. And one more note, the suspected insider will be called Frank in this story. This name is fictional. Now, this case is often called the biggest bank robbery in Czech history, but it wasn't a bank counter, it was a cash depot, a place where huge amounts of money are stored, counted and moved. That matters, because the crime didn't look like a robbery, it looked like a normal shift, until it didn't. Here's what we know from reporting in Prague. In 2007, a massive amount of cash went missing from a cash facility. No gunman, no broken vault, no dramatic scene, just routine, paperwork, access, and then a van leaving like it belonged there. So keep this in mind as we go. This story is not about force, it's about how a system can be used against itself. Prague, December 1st, 2007. Early morning, cold air, quiet streets. Most people think a big money theft looks like a masked man and a vault. But big cash doesn't sit in one place. It moves, it gets counted, packed and delivered. That's why cash depots exist. Secure places that handle huge amounts every day, behind the scenes. And this is where the money disappears. About 540 million Czech crowns, roughly 21 million euros at the time. The amount is so big it raises one simple question right away. How do you move money like that without anyone stopping you? Because with sums like this, you don't grab and run. You need timing, access and a plan that looks normal. This is where the story turns from the theft and the system. In places like these, the strongest door is not metal, it's procedure. Who can enter, who can open what, and who can sign what. And the most important, who looks like they belong. In reports, the key figure is an employee with access. In this video, we call him Frank. The name is fictional, but the idea is simple. You don't need force if you have a routine, if you know the schedule, the checks and the blind spots. Because the best cover is not a mask. The best cover is looking normal on a normal shift. So what does routine look like? Lights, hallways, doors, keys, badges. A gate that opens because open every day. A person walks where they always walk. A door opens because it's allowed to open. And a van drives out like it's belong there. Well, panic. No shouting. Just normal steps that later look like a clean line from inside to gone. That's why this case is scary. While it's happening, it doesn't feel like a crime. It feels like a normal job. Then comes the delay. Big systems don't scream right away. They check, count and confirm. Someone notices a gap. Then someone checks the logs. Then someone realizes the gap is not small. And when the number becomes clear, everything changes. Not something is missing, but we lost an impossible amount. By then the most valuable thing is already gone. It's time. And once time is gone, the chance to catch someone quickly drops fast. Investigators start with the basics. Who had access, who was on the shift, and what the cameras show. They follow the routine like a trail. The gate, the schedule, the keys, the paperwork. And they land on one hard idea. This doesn't work if you are a stranger. It works if you are a part of the building, if you know where questions happen and where they don't. That's why inside job is not just a label. It's a method. Use access, use trust, and stay quiet. Investigators didn't start with a mystery, they started with a timeline. Reports describe a white van arriving at the cash depot in Prague in the morning with a company logo that looked real. Then it leaves just minutes later. That short window becomes the key, because if a van can enter, load and drive out that fast, someone inside had to make it look normal. Later the same van was found abandoned and empty in another part of the city. So police worked backwards, who could enter, who knew the routine and who had the reason to take that risk. Reporting also says they followed links to an accomplice who helped with the van. And during searches the police found only a small part of the missing cash, not even close to the full amount. One more twist. Later reporting claimed the key video from the case was lost. So the biggest clues were time, routine, and a trail that kept going cold. Details here are based on reporting about the one timeline, abandoned vehicle, limited cash found and the missing video. As the case moved forward, court reporting started logging names. One of them is a Frank who was later sentenced in connection with the theft. But the bigger headline is what doesn't happen. The money is not fully recovered, and the suspected insider, the one we call Frank in this story, is not there to answer the questions. Reports describe him as a missing even while the case goes through the court and social media. So the public gets an ending that feels unfinished. Yes, there are sentences, and yes, there is a case file. But the one thing everyone wants most, the cash, remains out of the reach. That's why this story doesn't end with a clear-cut drawn finish. It ends with a missing person and a missing fortune. And then it gets even stranger. This wasn't only police work. Media report says private teams got involved, specialists who look for wanted men. They follow tips, check sightings, and track possible movements across borders. And the stories start to sound the same. Someone saw him, someone was close, he was almost caught, but almost doesn't end a case. And with this amount of money, you would expect a mistake. A big purchase, a loose friend, a single slip. So why does the trail fade instead of getting stronger? Was it luck? Was it planning? Or did someone help Frank stay out of sight? Here's a simple truth. Stealing is one thing, staying gone is harder. Money changes people. People talk, people spend, people make mistakes. So if someone really disappeared, it suggests control. A new routine, a new place, new people, or no people at all. Maybe the cash was split quickly. Maybe it was hidden and used very slowly. These are guesses, and we'll keep them clearly marked as guesses. But the main point is clear. The theft is only the first half of the story. The second half is what happens after. Prague keeps moving, life goes on, and still the missing money stays there. Like a shadow you can't shake. Let's keep this clean. Facts versus guesses. In Prague, in 2007, a huge amount of cash goes missing from a cash facility. The case has been investigated for years. Courts later sentenced at least one person, and the suspected insider, who we call Frank, is reported as a missing. Everything else is a guesses, and in this video, guesses stay clearly marked. This is why the case still hits, not because of violence, but because it shows how a strong system can fail when someone knows the routine. The money did not disappear with noise, it disappeared with normal steps, a door, a lock, a gate, and a van. And years later, the same feeling remains: silence. No clean answer, no full recovery. Well, the final moment. Just the gap that never closes. So when people ask, how did it happen? The most honest answer might be, it happened the way real life happens. Quietly. If you are into true crime, you know the worst cases aren't the loud ones. They're the quiet ones that never fully close. So here's the deal, if you want more stories like this, please subscribe and join our hunting community. We don't do drama, we do clear timelines, solid sources, and we mark every guesses as a guesses. Now it's your turn. Do you think Frank did this alone, or did someone help him move the money? Drop your theory in the comments, and if you want a specific case next, write it one sentence. What happened, where, and why it's strange. And the next episode is already in progress.